Like I say, the reason why they took out Germany, or tried to take out Germany, was old Germany had a lot of records on John McCain and Nixon and JFK. There are a lot of records that John McCain and JFK didn't want to be known about because Germany very much knew about JFK and John McCain, and they knew their real identities, and they knew everything about them. Full long reports about all their different deeds. Like, for instance, how John McCain or one of them had bribed one of the tank commanders to blow up a wall at a prison. And they did, and they ended up killing the guy that they were trying to help escape. Like I say, the story of Nixon, JFK, and those guys was bad. I mean, it was just a long list of death. I mean, like them stealing bikes from a warehouse and killing some guards, to their rampaging motorcycle running around using these bikes. Basically shooting at people with machine guns. There's a lot of stuff in Germany that they didn't really want known because there's a lot of stuff that pointed directly to John McCain and Richard Nixon and everything else. Then the Europe and some of the other countries had long files on these people and how that they were just basically, going around killing people, pretty much. I'm pretty sure that's the way it was. Except they always said it was somebody else. I said, "Oh no, it's that other guy," and they were lying like crazy. The Chinese, I believe, interrogated John McCain or something like that, and of course, they ended up just killing everyone that ever talked to them or ever knew anything about them, and that's why they did a war or wars, basically from World War II to World War to Vietnam. Basically was pretty much them just trying to cover up for who they were, what they had done, and such blunders as using as bribing one of the tank commanders or stealing a tank to blow up a wall in a prison wall, and they actually ended up killing like 12 people or 13 people, and one of them was the person that they're trying to set loose, basically. Just basically epic blunders of pretty much where, and then I think stuff like they shot the tank commander whose tank they stole or something like that, or something, basically just terrorists, and they're terrorists all during, basically since day one of their childhood. They were pretty much just people just running around killing people, no better or no bigger than, say, your average street thug gang member. They just had others, So, I mean, parading around as a Republican militia, just trying to cover up for all their actions. Germany knew about them, I'm pretty sure China and Japan, and then they would go and try and kill those leaders that had known about them, all to cover up so nobody knew about who they really were. I can only assume Rodney Briley and Rick Bush and some of the other Republicans did the same thing, although they would basically send word or whatever, and then somebody else would do their dirty work, basically, as they got more and more money. Basically, it's a small group of killers, and they were basically just mostly thieves or rapists, basically, and they survived between 1920 or somewhere starting in 1917 going on to about 1963, their heyday, and then tapering off and pretty much getting caught or locked up or whatever. Basically Nixon and John McCain and Jimmy Carter and some sideline from Bush campaign, that was basically, that was their run. That was a Republican Democratic run. And pretty much, looting other countries, killing blatantly, stealing, what's called, and realistically they were never really part of the government or in the government, and nobody would ever let them near anything because they just basically shot people in the back and killed people. They killed their own people quite a bit. Like I said, you did not want to be a girlfriend or wife of John McCain. He was a rapist and he was a killer, and so was, JFK, and, that's why they're named JFK. Basically the worst people in humanity, pretty much, and not really much better than your average gang member that just, they killed and raped blatantly, and even shelled whole towns. bombed whole towns. It didn't really matter to John McCain. That's why he got shot down by one of my missiles. Because my guys were like, "Can we please shoot this guy down? He's really that big of a piece of shit." And they really wanted to kill John McCain, but he lived. They were like, "Damn, he ejected." So John McCain actually lived, and unfortunately, and they really wanted him dead, along with Nixon and JFK. But they escaped, or just were able to surrender and lie and give up their other people or whatever. Anyway, and basically Republicans and Democrats are basically really, I mean, we're talking about like chopping, like sawing off people's heads and playing with their brains. And there's some, the details of what is John McCain and Richard Nixon and JFK legacy was a really, really dark and really, really bad one. Where they hid and stuff, and basically, that's why they wanted somebody else in the White House, because, if I was there, then they were dead or whatever. But it didn't really help, because I'm more than just a president, more than just a bride. I am I am Lucifer White Star line. And so I always get my man, as they say, or my person. And I got quite a few. But nobody knew that right now, and nobody will ever know that, which is the best part. And some people were actually grabbed on my behalf or whatever, by some other things. Although I wasn't sure if they were just, doing more pain and destruction or whatever. But I don't know. You talk to the Chinese government, you talk to the Russian government. Putin knows. Basically, everybody knew about, or would come to know about Richard Nixon and John McCain, and even probably Trump. So they were a very big problem. And eventually they'll probably know Rodney and Rick Bush and the Jehovah's Witnesses. And we just kind of taper off with this whole nightmare that is pretty much a whole bunch of people making a grab for power and killing as many people as they can, and doing this whole Republican thing. So anyway.